Good day and welcome to Let's Talk Access, a social media program produced and presented by the UWI Open Campus. I'm your host this evening, Cleveland Sam. Today, we are speaking about the Open Campus Academy of Sport and the exciting programs it offers and how you can apply to these programs. Most importantly, we have two current students who are in those programs and they will be sharing their experiences with you. So let's meet our guests. First of all is Mr. Corvin Jean, and he is the head of the Open Campus Academy of Sport. Corvin, good evening.
Good evening, Cleveland. Well, Dr. Sam, and good evening to our viewers. Glad to have you. Pleasure being here as well.
All right, you're no stranger to Let's Talk Access. Hailing from Guyana via Trinidad and Suriname is Mr. Anis Ade Thomas, and he is a student. Good evening, Anis.
Hey, good evening. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
All right. And as I love to say, from the only English-speaking country in Central America, which is Belize, welcome Mr. Dwight Gabb. Dwight, good evening.
Good evening, and thanks for having me. It's my pleasure being on here.
All right, so gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk Access. As I said, for Corvin Jean, he is no stranger here. He has been here at least 3 or 4 times before. So Corvin, let's start. First of all, tell us about what is new in the Open Campus Academy of Sport.
Oh man, there's a lot going on.
I know,
so much it's kind of hard to keep track of. All right, so we'll start off with the easy ones first. So, well, you know, we have our 4 existing sport programs. So that is BSc Sports Coaching, BSc Sports Kinetics, Sport Leadership and Management, and the newest of our BSc program, which is BSc Sport and Physical Literacy. In addition to those, we do have the Sport Broadcasting. We are currently trying to work with the Faculty of Law. So we have a professional sports law certificate program that is still in the making, and that comes off the collaboration that the Faculty of Sport just had with the Faculty of Law. So these are in train, but I think one of the major things that I think we can look forward to is a collaboration between the Faculty of Sport and NACAC, which is the regional body for athletics in this region, where they want to bring their certification programs through the UE Faculty of Sport. And of course, what that means is that all the sport program students can then access level 1, level 2, level 3 certification in coaching athletics. So again, we would have to look through ACWAC, review our programs so that those certification courses then become electives. So when you leave with a degree, whether it be coaching, kinetics, sport leadership and management, sport and physical literacy, you can have a specialty qualification as in a level 1, level 2, or level 3 coach at the athletics level. Subsequent to that, we are currently working with CANOC, which is the Caribbean Association of National Olympic Committees. And we had engaged them for a collaboration with regards to trying to create a scholarship program for national athletes. We've also touched base with them with regards to creating an internship program between the various Olympic associations and individuals who are registered for sport programs at the Faculty of Sport. So they recently reconnected with us and a proposal was sent, and we are currently reviewing that with a view to including those specialty options for our students. So as opposed to just coming in with getting a BSc again, you can have technical qualification as well as go through a study internship with our Olympic Association. So a lot is going on. It's a whole lot, but we are trying to keep up to pace with the sport development within the region, as well as create pathways for our students with said programs. I would add again, we are working with a number of governmental jurisdictions to not only assist them with regards to their own sport development frameworks, but we also want to create pathways for our students so that there are ways for them to gain employment through the collaborations that we have with the various governments of the region. So, Doc, we have a whole lot going on. A whole lot of this.
Exciting stuff. I'm really intrigued, especially by the program with respect to the law component that is really gonna take us to the next level and take sport to the next level. All right, so Corbin, we're going to come back to you a little later, but I want to focus now on two of your students who have been in two of these programs that you started offering just about 3 years ago. That we would have done a program to talk about the introduction of those programs, and now they're well on their way. So I'm going to start with my friend Anis from Guyana, who is now based in Suriname. Anis, tell us exactly what is your involvement in sport and which of the open campus degree programs you're pursuing?
Well, the open campus, the degree program is a bachelor's in sports genetics. And I think my dream to want to actually be involved in some sort of sports science or sports medicine would have started ever since I was in high school. And one of the troubles of having to select such a program after high school is the availability of such programs in said country. I mean, the closest I've gotten to a sports program was maybe through my associate's degree in biology, where I didn't feel like I was, tending towards my dream or my passion for sport. In high school, I've been a track athlete for 5 years, competed up to the national level. Also competed in powerlifting at the national and international levels. I think I still have a few existing junior records in the Caribbean. I'm not sure. Might be wiped out. And then eventually I transitioned into CrossFit, which is a foundation for all sport. And that feeling to want to study sports science or sports medicine was always there. And it was only 2 years ago when I felt like I was stuck in mode, not moving. And then with the onset of the pandemic, you're online more often, and suddenly I saw that the University of West Indies has an online full degree online sports genetics program, and I was a bit shocked as to why wasn't this there before. Only to found out that it only started about 3 years ago, where it got implemented. And I may have registered for fun, thinking it's not going to go through, but it went through. And through talking with my parents and friends, they said, look, if it's there, then you start. And it just felt like a really good opportunity then to still continue in your dream. Something that I've discussed with my brother and my sister is that if you don't follow your passion, you're actually committing spiritual suicide, instead of, yeah. And a few things were surprising when I started the program, because I already came in with a wealth of knowledge in coaching and managing, because the coach I had from high school, he would always encourage me that as much as he's my coach, I should also take a step further on my own behalf to practice and gain more knowledge on my craft when it comes to foundation fitness or metabolic conditioning. And coming into the program with a wealth of knowledge, it's been so far, it's been a good ride, and I hope to just see where this goes and how much more integrated these programs can become available to the rest of the Caribbean.
All right, thank you so much, Anis. We're going to come back to you to talk about what you did for your sport in high school and some of the records that you have to check to see if they have already been broken, okay? But we're going to move from South America and we're going to Central America now to our friend in Belize. Dwight is no stranger to the open campus. In fact, he's a staff member at our Belize site and also a very active member on our sporting committee. But Dwight, you're now tell us about what program you're doing for the open campus in the sports program.
I'm currently doing the Bachelor's in Sports Leadership and Management. It has been quite a challenge, to say the least. There has been always in the semester that aha moment that what you learned in the program, you see, okay, where I can implement this in whatever programs that you were doing before you got into the program. I've seen, because I was affiliated with the Belize National Cricket Association, I was an executive member for some years, and there was always something lacking, being in that leadership position, but there was always something lacking. There is something more, you know. And when I heard that the Faculty of Sport was coming online, it took some years to come online, but it was at that moment that boom, I know I had to get in. I started doing political science, but it was just to get in, and waited for the Faculty of Sport to come online. And as soon as that came online, I said, you know, boom, I'm changing. And you know, that was really a defining moment for me.
Okay, so you said you're involved in cricket in Belize. Could you tell
Right.
us about your involvement in sport there?
Right. For some years, I was the secretary of the association. I was all the way up to vice president of the National Cricket Association. We took people out the country to play cricket internationally in South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. We're currently, the team is playing in Antigua and Barbuda at the 2020 ICC tournament out there.
Okay, great, great. So hence why you're doing sports leadership. That's
Right.
the
Yeah, I think I can contribute more.
right.
The more knowledge you gain, the more you can share, the more you can help the sport to grow. And I think that's what we need in Belize. We need the sport to grow. We have been getting along, so to speak, right? But we need that push to get to another level.
Okay, great. Well, we look forward to hearing about Belize playing in the West Indies cricket regional tournaments, the 40 tournaments, the one-day tournaments, and the T20. And I would be able to say, well, I know one person who actually contributed to that. His name is Dwight Gow.
Yeah. We laid part of the foundation to get us to that level. We also have Mr. Peter Nero teaching our umpires to get to the next level, along with the West Indies Cricket Association to build the sport and get everybody to a new level.
Great stuff, great stuff. And I mean, we are at the University of the West Indies Open Campus, and I'm sure Kervin would be happy for this plug. We are so happy that we can be contributing to the national development of Belize in this way, you know. I want to go back to my friend in South America and just talk to him a bit. What sports, what athletics, what events were you involved in sports, Anis?
Oh boy, so in high school I competed in track and field.
So let us get it clear. You're now in Suriname. You're now in Suriname, but you did high school in Guyana, right?
Yeah. So we moved to Guyana in 1995. I would have started high school in the year 2000.
Right.
And from my second year, I got involved in track and field. Started training with the physical education teacher of the school because he was also a track athlete representing Guyana at the regional level. And so I competed in the sprint events, 100, 200, 400. And depending on the year, I would transition between discus and shot put. And also into my years as a teacher, I started teaching in 2008. So I also did track and field in the under 21, teachers under 21, teachers 21 to 30, in same events. Powerlifting would have started in 2008 because I started training at the gym in the year 2001. So my coach, he made it clear that some of my lifts are at the national level. And from 2008 up until 2014, I competed in powerlifting. And I competed in the 82 kilogram weight class and at 6. And then international level, I competed at 6 different competitions. 4 of them would have been the Caribbean Championships alongside the North American Powerlifting, along with the North American Powerlifting Federation. They would host our country there. Eventually, the the Guyana Amateur Powerlifting, they joined the Pan American, the pseudo Pan American Powerlifting Federation. So the records that I did have, which I think was erased, because I checked it, I think, a while ago. So in 2012, I would have traveled to Cayman Islands, where I competed as a junior and a silver, junior and a senior, and I got silver and bronze at that competition. At the 2 Caribbean Championship levels, one was held in Florida, I got gold medal there. One was held in Guyana, where I also got I got silver medal in Guyana. That was in 2010. And then eventually I transitioned into CrossFit locally in Guyana, just because the cash prizes were a bit attractive. So it was like a side payday. But along the way, I also got involved in coaching because, like I said, my coach, he was also my teacher. So whatever he taught me as a student, as an athlete, like, he also encouraged me to practice and learn more. And in Suriname right now, I'm also a biology teacher, biology, physics, and math. And I also volunteer at Rock CrossFit Paramaribo. I work alongside the head coach there in terms of strength and conditioning, aerobic capacity, and yeah, most of the knowledge I have right now has been self-taught, and the bachelor's program has just helped me qualify, making me a bit more qualified to have to talk and share more and myself. Yes.
Right. So, I mean, given your athletic history, I can see why you selected the kinetics program in particular. Now, how has this program been going for you?
So one of the main reasons for that, I'm really into just how individuals move in different sports. And I know movement is relative to all human beings. We were not made to be couch potatoes. We were made to move. We were actually nomadic in nature. We're supposed to be moving. And the program has been good. I mean, like I said, if you have a passion for something, you're going to do it. So as much as I'm a full-time teacher, all provisions, you make time, even if it means late hours in the night for the program. And the courses are, I mean, it's just like when you register for any university, there's always ups and downs. You have to expect that. But the studying online, it only works for you if you're going to put in the work. If we're going to just assume that, okay, the lecturer is not going to look at my work, he's not going to respond to my questions. I mean, those assumptions only come up if you are not communicating with your professors. I've heard a lot of students who complain that they don't have enough time to do a few things. And I mean, all this comes with study, all this comes with work, all this comes with whatever you're doing. I think the Open Campus has just given us an opportunity where in countries where you cannot follow your passion, the Open Campus is giving us an opportunity to still carry on and also to put the Caribbean on the map. I mean, take Jamaica, for example, and the rise of international athletes in the last 10 years. I mean, they're making it to the top, and the other countries, in terms of the other developing countries, they're looking at the Caribbean and they're wondering what's going on. They wonder what's going on here. And if we could start to make the Open Campus, or we're doing it academically, get people involved, and then offer that foundation support for athletes, non-athletes as well. I mean, studying as an athlete is probably one of the pitfalls we've had in the Caribbean. I can speak for some athletes in Guyana who, there isn't a management system that allows an athlete to also have certain extracurricular activities. But that was during my time. I mean, now maybe I think there are things that are being put into place to provide for athletes physical capabilities and also their academic abilities at the same time.
All right, thank you very much. And Kevin, I'm hearing both Dwight and Anis, and is this really the reason these programs were introduced? Because these are two men who are very involved in sport, both at the playing level as well as the administration level. I mean, is this these are the type of individuals these programs are targeting?
To be honest with you, Dr. Sam, the programs target everybody. I think what is actually special here or specific here is the fact that now through the Open Campus and the Academy of Sport, practicing professionals as well as athletes can now continue their daily duties whilst getting their education online. Former athletes will tell you, or current athletes will tell you, one of the biggest stumbling blocks that they face is pursuing academic qualification or higher education whilst being a national athlete or professional athlete. You just don't have the time. With the OCAS and the Open Campus, what you now have is a system that allows you to pursue higher education whilst pursuing your national, either your national duty, your profession, and everything in between. I could work, and then at any point in time through the day, I can log into my class, the course page, listen to past sessions, listen to current session, access the material. It doesn't matter where I am. I could do it from my cell phone. I could do it from my laptop. And one of the nice things about these programs, Dr. Sam, is that when you look at the makeup of the classes or the cohorts, you have many practicing professionals as well as athletes that make up the cohorts. And again, I lecture across some of the courses, so I generally tell individuals, use this platform as well to network and to learn from each other. Because we have professional coaches that are now pursuing a BSc in coaching. And you have students or persons who are interested in coaching in the same class as those seasoned coaches. So you understand the experiential learning that takes place within those classes. So in a sense, what we have created is an atmosphere that facilitates learning and development. And of course, with the ease of access provided by the Open Campus, the possibilities are limitless.
Right. And when you talk about classes here, of course, you're talking about virtual classes.
Virtual classes, yes.
Dwight, why did you choose the Open Campus to pursue your studies in sport?
Flexibility, as Carvin pointed out. I'm actually the technician here at the Open Campus Belize, and I have an all-day job, you know, and we have classes in the evenings. It makes it so much easier to do your classwork. At the end of the day, you can go over the recordings. If you missed a class, you can repeat the recordings. You know, it's way easier than to be pressured if you were working and you have to go to a physical class. You know, there's so much flexibility in it, and that's part of the reason that I decided to take the bull by the horn and I say I'll pursue my degree at the Open Campus.
Great, great. All right, guys. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. This is for both you and Anis. So far, what would you say are the highlights of your studies in the sports program? What stand out to you?
Well, I'll go first. Well, opportunities. I had the opportunity to travel with the students to the student games in Jamaica. That was a wonderful experience. On top of that, the collaboration that you have to do with other students across the region via WhatsApp, Zoom, to do classwork, to do group work. That's a challenge by itself, but it also have its rewards. You get to meet people, you get to talk to new people. I have friends in St. Vincent that I almost message on a daily basis, make sure that we have everything right. I even, when they need support, they call me. So it helps. It definitely helps to meet new people. You know, you never know. You may be somewhere in the world and you need somebody, you're stuck and you need somebody, you can call on somebody maybe in that region or something. you know, you never know what will transpire in your life.
All right.
Just to add-
Anis, what has
Yes,
been your
just to
highlight so
add
far?
Yeah, just as it's the same thing as Dwight mentioned, and it's the whole diversity of the class, of every class that I've been in so far. I'm always meeting different accents that are in the classroom. That makes it very, very comfortable to just sit and have even regular conversations when you're not doing assignments. And just as Dwight said, you know, having to just message a friend that's in Jamaica or St. Lucia or St. Vincent, you know, and people, and you know, I'm behind my computer a lot as well, because I'm familiar with certain software programs for presentations. And sometimes when I'm at work, I may get calls from fellow classmates. How do you do a citation? Can you remind me how to edit this document, how to merge documents? And I think the whole idea of just networking, as Mr. John mentioned, that the whole idea of it is just have everyone networking. And with the onset of the pandemic, I mean, we were indoors for almost a year and a half. And I think the Open Campus just brought a feel of, or a reminder of this existing world or out world of the Caribbean that we're missing.
Right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Definitely the Caribbean integration aspect of this is huge for people studying with the Open Campus and with the university, of course, generally. So in terms of careers, where are you guys hoping to go professionally with these bachelor's programs? Okay, so before you start, I want to just say to our colleagues who may be looking for us on Facebook that there is a link on our Facebook page that will take you to the YouTube channel. We are having a little challenge streaming directly to Facebook. So it's on our YouTube channel. And if you go on our Facebook page, there is a link there that will take you to the YouTube stream. Okay, our apologies for that. So I was asking in terms of careers and professional pursuits, where are you planning to go with these bachelors of degree in sport?
Well, I haven't decided as yet, but definitely I'll work with the Belize National Cricket Association to get them at least to the associate level. That is my goal in the near future.
For me, it ties into also my profession as a teacher, because I love teaching. So it's a merge between having to become specialized in a certain field of coaching, more or less, or even if I have to be a professor in the field or a lecturer in the field at the university, at the tertiary level of education. I'm also very hands-on with the program because I like working with athletes. So even if it takes me down the path into understanding movement in athletes, and at the same time, working with individual athletes who may need specific training when it comes to aerobic conditioning or the basic metabolic conditioning. And then at the molecular level, at least, understanding how nutrition contributes to athletes as well.
Great. Any idea or any thought in terms of entrepreneurship in the sporting area, having done a program like kinetics or sports leadership and management?
Yes, it's only for the past couple of months, I have been discussing with a few friends of mine where I want to start implementing a program. I mean, it's where I'm able to reach out to athletes across different sports. That's one of it, and create a platform where athletes can actually interact with different professions. So not necessarily one person who gives you advice on everything, but a collaboration with a nutritionist, a professor, a strength conditioning coach, a coach who may specify for track and field or for football, and a platform that allows athletes to have these conversations, because there is a lack of, I think, sports specific profession in some countries in the Caribbean. So like when athletes get injured, sometimes you go to a doctor or a physiotherapist who may not be specialized in sports specific, and they may get just a general a general idea of what the injury is, and not a specific idea as to what may have been the cause of the injury. And also for when it comes to rehabilitation, most of the rehab programs that we have in some of the Caribbean countries may not be for sports specific. And usually if an athlete gets injured, let's say at the high school level or the college level in the Caribbean, chances are his career is finished, unless he or she has an bank account where they could just travel to a more developed country to repair that injury and come back stronger, faster, bigger, whatever the case is.
Okay, great stuff. What about you, Dwight? Any entrepreneurial ventures in sports, having with all of your experience and doing a program such as BSc in leadership, sport leadership and management?
No specific plans at this point, but I can see where we can channel some of the resources and some of the affiliations made through this program to raise the developmental level of our athletes at home. I have a colleague, Brenton, and he's all over the world coaching people. You know, these are the type of resources that we can garner, and maybe, make ties that we can try to harness some of these resources and bring them to our home country.
Right.
So none at this point, but I see where we can springboard and get something like that going.
Okay, great. Kevin, I have from our YouTube channel, I have a question or two. Can the BSc sport and the physical literacy be combined with a bachelor's in education? That's an interesting combination someone is asking about, Kevin. I guess this is one for your academic advisor. Kevin?
Oh, yes, you can. And actually, that was the reason for the development of the BSc Sport and Physical Literacy. We do understand the dearth of education or sport-specific education with regards to the teaching of physical education at primary and the secondary school level, and a standard program that can be adopted as a measure for teaching sport in school. So when we would have conducted, well, I wouldn't say research, sorry, we would have spoken to a number of individuals, practicing professionals, as well as sat in on a focus group session that was held by CXE with regards to the review of the CAPE syllabus. One of the things you find across the region is that you have two sets of individuals, or two facets. You have persons who have a strong background in sport, but not the teaching experience or qualification. And then you have those individuals who have the teaching experience or qualification, but lack the sport-specific knowledge to properly execute on a CXE syllabus with regards to physical education. So we developed the sport and physical literacy with avenues to cover both of these deficits. So individuals who already are in education, but don't have this sport-specific component or background, they can then do this degree, which is geared at giving them those specific sport skills that are required to properly execute on the CXE syllabus, as well as the CAPE syllabus at primary, secondary, or even tertiary level sport, and more or less speaking to physical education. So that is what this is. And actually we are working through with a franchise agreement with the South Louis Community College so that this BSc is adopted as the standard for physical education teachers. So the Business Development Unit and the Office of Global Affairs were currently working on that. And we've had an initial conversation with some of the other state colleges so that they can adopt this BSc program for that specific intervention as well.
Great stuff, great stuff. And this question is coming from Walter Molina. And another question, of course, is there any scholarship available for the sport faculty?
Yes, there are scholarships. So both Mona and Keville, I think St. Augustine to some degree, they have scholarships. And we at the Open Campus, we've just initiated discussions with regards to having scholarships available. Of course, funding is an issue. And as you would have recalled earlier, I mentioned where we approached Kano to have that collaboration with the OCAS so that through the various Olympic organizations, we can create a scholarship scheme for national athletes and other such individuals. So although nothing has manifested yet, what I would tell you, just stay tuned, because these are in transit more or less. So give us a year or two. I wouldn't say a year or two, but let us have these conversations. And again, you could tune into our webpage, and a good plug for that one, Cleveland. You can tune into our webpage for information on recent developments and also what is going on within the OCAS with regards to programming, student engagement, staff engagement, and the law.
Right, but there may not be any specific sports scholarship, but there are several scholarships at the open campus that students applying for the BSc sport program can also apply for and benefit from, and bursaries. And of course, our student guild also offer a number of bursaries every year. So you can check the student guild pages and check out the open campus website and emails as well for scholarship offers and bursaries that are offered from time to time. And of course, your national governments can also fund your program to come to the University of the West Indies open campus. All right, guys, Anis and Dwight, you guys are very busy. I suspect you may have family or, of one sort or the other. How do you cope with all of these responsibilities and your schoolwork? Because you have full-time jobs. I don't know if you have fathers or husbands or what, but other responsibilities outside of studies.
Actually, I'm a father of 2 boys.
There you go. Welcome to the hood.
Yeah, one is 18 and the other one is 15. It's quite a challenge to juggle. It's quite a juggling act, but I manage. I have help at home. My mom assists me, and that's how I can cope. Otherwise, I don't think I can cope taking on all these responsibilities, work, class work, and work at home. Yeah, and then I have a commute. I have a 35-minute commute as well.
Right.
So some of my classes I take on the way. I have my Bluetooth on in my car, and I listen and I chime in when I can. So it's a challenge, but you learn to live with it, right?
Oh,
you learn. Yeah, you learn to work around it.
Anis?
Well, I mean, if it counts, I have to deal with just maybe 10 to 15 students at school. But no, I don't have any kids or that I have to tend to. I'm still, in that developing phase of being a civilized individual. But my daily activities are just as everyone else. Wake up, cook, clean, wash, go to work, and my days is always split between being at the gym, coaching, and being at work. And then in the night, it's studying. So in a way, I could
develop any sort of method or any system of how do you cope with your schoolwork to ensure that you get in your 6 or 8 hours every week? How do you, you have a system for that?
My system, it's when it comes to maybe, let's say, the assignments is, most courses, and this is something I learned after maybe the very first semester, is that the assignments are already there on the webpage. And I think we just need, what I do is I started listening more to the lecturers when they say, read your course guide. And then after that, I just started to attack every assignment early on, just so that, and at least finish 2 or 3 days before the deadline, so that when the reminder comes up, I know that I've finished at least 80-90%. And what I do is, as it comes, I just attack it at the same time. And I look for spaces during the day to ensure I'm not losing time. So if I have a non-teaching period at work, then I use that time to quickly respond to one of the posts in one of the class forums, or I do at least spend some time on one of my assignments, spend some time reading, and I just try not to lose time during the day, not doing anything.
Yeah, Dwight?
Well, I think a lot of it with doing the courses online, you have a lot of reading to do. And Kevin always said, you know, as Annie said, follow your course guide, read the course guide. That's your Bible. So yeah, so I have to admit I thief a little time from work to do some of my work. As I said, I have a commute at the end of the day, and it's quite a challenge when I reach home. You know, I'm tired already, so I steal a little time here and there to do some reading or go over the forums, you know. But it helps. I'm sure they won't penalize you for just taking a little 30 minutes or so. You know, but yes, you have to. Yeah, you have to put in the time, or else at the end of the week you'll fall behind, and it's quite a challenge to catch up.
Okay, good stuff. So you guys have developed a method for helping to cope. Corinne, from the academic side, what advice or support is offered to students like Anis and Dwight?
Oh, from the OCAS, it's a lot. So Mr. Watts, our academic program officer, what he has done is created WhatsApp groups. So they have easy access to Mr. Watts, as well as Janessa, who's the admin assistant to our department. So any issues, they can relay through those individuals to get a quick response. Additionally, we try to keep everybody abreast, meeting with them, regularly. So we try to have at least an introductory meeting at the start of the semester, try to meet with them mid-semester. That hasn't always gone as planned, but we try to engage individuals. Last year, we would have put on some special sessions for our students with regards to areas of weakness that we identified or areas that they needed assistance with. So we try to stay in touch with the students, try to keep our eye on the ground and try to render assistance as much as possible. We are working towards inclusion of these programs. We're trying to tie or align our programs to the support that we offer to the various jurisdictional governments. So what we try to get students to do, depend on the area of study, when we have special projects, we include them as part of the virtual teams. Of course, because of COVID, we've had a setback in that regard, so we haven't had much traction with regards to that. But as we're hoping, as soon as some of the restrictions are lifted in some of the jurisdictions and sporting activity returns to normal, that we can then move forward with creating those virtual teams where our students can practice the theory of what they learn. So we have a fairly good support system running at UCAS. And of course, most of the students know our operational staff as well are quite knowledgeable with regards to sport, and they do coordinate activities with students and staff as well. And of course, they are accessible to the students for exchange of information as well.
Thank you so much. Just to remind our viewers that you can submit your questions and comments in the comment section on our YouTube page and of course on our Facebook page. I have another question here for you, Kevin. I'm not sure how this one is gonna be answered, but someone by the name of Pedro, he said, currently pursuing a BSc in tourism with the UWI, a level 2 student. Can I still change program at this level or at least do a minor in sport? So he's doing tourism. So he wants to know if he could do a minor in sport or switch his program altogether.
With regards to switching, I think you could always switch programs. It all depends on where he's doing that degree and with which campus or faculty. I do think I would advise them to get in touch with Mr. Watts. Through the webpage and through the information that we will share at the end of this, I will give you access to the email where you could submit an email, and through there, I will put you in touch with Mr. Watts, and he will advise you, as he generally does that, as well as with the program manager that we have within the Open Campus, Sharon Ince. So they would better be able to advise with regards to the academic side of things. but I do think it is a possibility. Minors, we are currently working through the faculty to institute minors. We do have an issue with regards to the rigidity of the structures of program within the open campus, but of course, there is leeway for individuals to register for said courses separate and apart. So the minors to all of our programs, we are currently in talks with the curriculum division, the curriculum officer at the faculty, so that we have those accessible to not only our students, other students across the other campuses as well. So it is something you can look forward to as well.
All right, so in terms of the business end of things, applications are currently open. What are the requirements? What is the deadline for applications for January semester?
There's, of course, I generally refer individuals to the website for the information with regards to application times, deadline dates, and everything else. So it's open.ue.edu, and you navigate to the programs. All the information that you require for the application dates and times are there. I tend to stick to that. I don't want to lead anybody astray. Visit the website, get familiar with the courses and the programs that we are offering, and all the information is there. And of course, while you are navigating, you might also see some other programs and other initiatives that might attract your interest as well. And again, for additional information, you could visit the OCAS's webpage, which is open.ue.edu /OCAS, OCAS. And that information is there. If you require additional information, of course, you send an email, and we, of course, would respond in person. Well, Ms. Janessa Gordon will.
Right, and just to advise that the application deadline for undergraduate is December 15th. And as Kevin said, you can go to www.open.uwi.edu/admissions and apply now. All right, and requirements, Kevin, what are the requirements for entry into the BSc sports programs? You're muted.
Sorry. Most of the entry requirements entails the 4 passes. But we do, I must say again, we do have special entry requirements with regards to our sporting program and at the open campus. So the Pla Unit, which is a prior learning assessment unit for individuals who don't meet the criteria, we also work with experiential knowledge and experiential knowledge. So you as a practicing professional may not have the 3 or 4 passes required to enter the program, but through an assessment and a project, of course, administered by the Pla Unit, they will assess your work experience. And of course, you would receive credit for said experience towards entry into one of the other programs.
And passes you refer to the CSEC, yes?
Yes.
Right. All right. So you hear that. So the prior learning assessment, you can be assessed to for admission. And as we said, this program attracts both young, seasoned coaches, middle-aged coaches, and athletes and former athletes. All right, gentlemen, we only have 10 minutes, believe it or not. What would you say has been your overall experience so far through these programs? You're doing the same degree, 2 different specializations. You're doing kinetics, Anis. What has been your overall experience so far?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a good 9.9.
Oh wow! Everyone take a bow.
And I think it's just because that the program it's there, and as you and Mr. Giron mentioned, that this was in discussion before it started, and now it's here and it's happening. And I think it just offers that opportunity for young athletes who want to follow their passion and to start studying in sport. So that's why, for me, it's a good 9.9. The programs there are, it gives us like some of the courses just takes us back a bit more. So like I really enjoyed the history course because there was a point where I thought I understood sports history until I did the course and I started reading, and I'm like, oh, there's still a lot more for me to understand where sports was, from the beginning of the first Olympics in Greece, and to now to understand how it has developed and changed over the years, and also some of the obstacles that had to overcome. So that's why for me, it's a 9-point plan.
Great. Dwight, your experience thus far?
Yeah, quite a good experience as Anis pointed out, the history of sport. What you thought was the history of sport until you read and you get a better understanding of what sport was and what it is now. You know, there are a lot of similarities then and now, and you can draw your line and say, okay, well, some things are the same and some things have changed, but it's quite a good experience. Every time you get into a course, you get to learn new things. You get to have a better understanding of what you're set out to do. You know, I guess when we looked at it at a glance, we didn't realize that each of the courses were chosen for so have meaning, you know, and you get that fulfillment at the end of the course when you have to write a paper and have to give your views. It's not necessarily regurgitation, but you have to give your views on what you believe and what you have read and understand. So it's quite a good experience. And when I started out, I couldn't even write an essay of 150 words. Now I'm writing essays of 2,500 words. So
Wow.
so it's quite some development as well, your personal development.
Hashtag progress.
Right.
All right, so we have 7 minutes to go. My question to both of you now is, would you encourage others to do this program and why?
I'll go first. I think the amount of information which we just shared, I mean, once you're once you're in the Caribbean and you have a love for sport, doesn't matter which field it is, if it's management, broadcasting, if it's movement, and even with the literacy program, I mean, you should jump on board, especially if the campuses are in your region. You know, it just makes it easier, more affordable for you to have to, for those who love sport, who have a passion for sport, to just follow. And that would be, I mean, I would encourage anyone who wants to have that qualification as a coach, as a broadcaster, as a manager, to jump on the program. Jump on the program, get with the program.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit ahead of the game, Cleveland.
Okay.
At Cleveland, I have already recruited a couple people into this program. Last year I started to do a workout with someone I met, and I encouraged them to apply, and they have applied. At least I know they have applied. I'm not sure if they're enrolled, but I know they have applied to the program, and actually they got accepted as well. And they were doing sports leadership, but without having any training and stuff like that. It's just, you know, they were a sports person. They have that leadership skill, and then they were in a position to do sports leadership. So I encouraged them to apply to the program, and they have applied, and I believe they got accepted as well.
That's a great testimonial. And I mean, you guys are the best marketing tool for this program. Not me, not Kervin. You guys who are actually doing the program, you know, you're the best marketing tool for this program. Really awesome to hear you say that you have actually recruited persons and would encourage others to do likewise. As I said, the application deadline for semester 2, which starts in January, is December 15th. As my colleague Kervin said, the basic requirements are for CSEC subjects, but for those of you who may not have CSEC subjects, there are other pathways called prior learning assessment, where we would assess your experience, other short courses that you have done in the past, and all of the other certification that you may have, and that may also lead to your to qualify you for entry. All right, last words, guys, starting with you, Anis.
Final words are, I mean, I think it's good that the open campus, especially open campus academy of sport, maybe we should have more of this happening throughout the year, and just so that people from athletes or any sports enthusiasts from across the Caribbean region, they could so when they see this, they could see that, hey, I know this guy. I mean, when I shared the post, my friends who know that I'm all about sports, they were excited to see that I'm going on live. And I think that itself serves as a good boost for anyone's motivation to continue to be in the field of sports and studying.
Thank you. Dwight, your last word.
Yeah, I believe that the Academy of Sports and the Open Campus, it's a good combination. And I believe that we should try to market it to a lot more people, I think we're keeping it too tight. We need to open up and share it. We have a lot of associations, football associations, federations, cycling federation, and people are getting into these positions, but without the credentials. And to lead properly, you need people trained and have the ability to lead and lead in the right direction. So, we need to get out there more. I think we're trying to keep it tight in our circle, and we need to branch out a little bit more.
All right,
Yes.
and this program is doing exactly that. Kevin,
Right.
John, last word.
Yes, most definitely. And again, I want to thank the panelists, both Anis and Dwight. What I would say to everyone, and again, I say this quite reservedly, not to be insensitive, but there's a saying, never waste a good disaster. In this case, never waste a good pandemic. And you might be saying, okay, what's good in a pandemic? But understand that there is opportunity in every form of distress. In the normal world of sport, the administrative side of sport and the operational sides are always at loggerheads. In most instances, with the operational side winning, as in you have tournaments, you have competitions, you don't have enough time to focus on the structures of your administration. So during this time now in a pandemic, when you have a downtime in sport operations, a number of you who are out there who may have studied and try to figure, how am I going to advance my education? I don't have the time. I can't juggle everything. Right now, you have a downtime to do that. And it's not just individuals. We're talking about sport administrations as well, the various ministries of sport and other such sport serving bodies. You have this time right now to expand your horizons, focus on your administrations, not just in terms of capacity building, but in terms of partnering with not only the OCAS, but the faculty of sport to render that assistance in your sport development frameworks, your policy and governing documents, and to have that greater alignment. So in final words, we are there, the assistance is there. And what I'm trying to tell you, don't let any more time waste. Take advantage of it, build on yourself, your own personal development, your organization's aspirations and developmental aspirations. Take this time to work on them at this point in time.
Thank you. Do not waste a good pandemic.
No,
Final
never.
words of Corvin Shaw. Thank you so much, Corvin Shaw, Dwight Gab, and Anis Ade Thomas for making this program such a success. I wish you guys all the best as you move towards completing your BSc in sport, in kinetics, and sport leadership and management. You have been watching another edition of Let's Talk Access, a production of the UWI Open Campus. Today, we focus on the Open Campus Academy of Sports programs and the experiences of two current students. Remember, you can check us out online, www.open.uwi.edu. You can also link us up on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. And of course, we are on YouTube. Special thanks to Patrick Johnson for taking care of all of the technical activities in the background, and Cherise Glasgow for monitoring our platforms. Until next time, I am Cleveland Sam. Goodbye.